Hey, hi, welcome, Onyx.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This is week three of the interview series for the What We Carry project, and we are recording this time in video. So not sure if this video is gonna be posted or the recording, but hey,
Whatever works.
when it drops.
Yeah.
But I want to welcome Onyx to the show. Onyx, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Onyx King. I am a bit of a jack of all trades, but master of none. A lot of different hobbies and a lot of different interests. But at least right now, I am exploring being black in the nerd world. Video games, specifically tabletop role playing games. It is a bit, a bit of a a hurdle, but that's kind of my biggest interest right now is pulling all of my specialties together with writing, acting, voice acting, creating, world building, and building something that my friends can play in. That's my biggest thing right now.
Oh, okay. So do you have a latest project that you're working on?
I do. It's very silly, but currently, me and Zach and a few of our other friends are playing a Dungeons and Dragons type of world, all homebrewed by myself. But it's a mix, or I guess a parody of the Warrior Cat series and Game of Thrones.
Okay.
So right now we're calling it the Cluttered Courts, since a group of cats is a clutter, and of course we have to have infamous courts in a fantasy world. But yeah, that's been the kind of the most recent thing. I think Zach is also recording that as well. But it's a ton of fun just to be silly with friends in a space where we feel safe to basically play pretend.
Yeah. So what is that like? Can you tell us a little bit about like the world building that comes with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's honestly one of my favorite things. It's the second thing that I work on when it comes to building a story. But a majority of it really is just asking the questions you would never think about in most fantasy worlds. What's currency like? How is magic regarded in this world? How are thieves treated? Asking yourselves kind of bigger questions that is there religions? What's the political climate of this world? Certain things like that you can really build up. Some of them built off of my experiences, but I tried to really parody off of the Game of Thrones very lethal, high lethality, and that like cutthroat. You're not, the villain's not going to get through the monologue because the other person's too busy trying to get him. So that's kind of my biggest thing with world building is considering the material that I am inspired off of from both ends, but also what can I bring to this world that will help my players and help myself as the dungeon master or the game master to facilitate these goodies and these little prizes that they get to play around with. But the world building portion is my favorite. Will
Ah,
always be my favorite.
and I mean, as a thespian, as someone who's a part of the theater, that is, a lot of our bread and butter is being able to
Yeah.
like build the world. Like when you do theater, you have to create the set, and like
Hmm.
that creates like that feeling of building the world, and you get to like be in it. It's so
Yes.
much fun. So what have been your favorite parts of being able to do that?
Definitely watching my players just get the consequences of their actions. In a world where I like to preach, like, yeah, D&D, you can do anything. Obviously, not everything, but you could try. And that's my favorite is you can absolutely try. I would love to see you try because you either succeed and it's super cool or you fail and we have a hilarious laugh. So that's kind of the my favorite part, or knowing that I have something like hidden in the back, and then once they start to like, I watch the cogs turn in their mind and I'm like, oh yes, they're getting close, ooh, they're getting close. And then when they do get it and either somebody figures it out and I'm like, oh my god, like my friends are so smart, like just people are so smart. It's so nice to watch them, and also seeing like a sense of pride that they have as well from like, oh my god, we figured it out. It's like, yeah, hell yeah, it's even though it's a false sense of like we're not, what we're doing is not real, it still gives a person true confidence and true, like, just feeling like they could conquer the world. And I truly think that's what I love to give my players, is that brief moment of power that we don't get in our day to day. We have to go work, we have to whatever. And the one thing I like to tell my players is like, hey, let's get the sillies out. It's time to play pretend. Let's it's a role-playing game. Like you said, thespians, like, let's get silly. We're in a safe space to do so. You're not going to be punished for anything that you do here, where you might out in that world. And we have a very diverse, cast as well. So it's one of those things that I'm like, let's do it. let's get weird. Let's get like wild with it and see where we can truly go. And watching them, at first kind of tiptoe around it, but then fall into the giggles, but also like the seriousness too, and allowing themselves to feel such big feelings that they've never felt before. And, one of my wonderful players has a whole backstory where, like, they ate their kids, like, for out of survival. Like, that's something that we never have to talk about, but to watch them really touch into a darker side of themselves and explore that in a safe space where everyone else is consenting, I love to give that as a gift to anybody who's willing to sit down and play. Truly.
Okay, so I want to know, how did you get into being a dungeon master? What is that like?
I have always been a huge nerd, but it's always been like stuffed down, because as growing up with a predominantly Black family, my dad's side, anytime that I brought up video games, anime, anything like that, it was, oh, you like that white shit, huh? Oh, you into that white shit? And I'm like, anime's Japanese, not white. First of all, but okay. But yeah, so I've always kind of gotten shamed a little bit from my family for it. So unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to explore it truly until probably junior year of high school. And even then, didn't know there was a rule book, did not know that there was like things that you had to do. I just heard about this thing called Dungeons and Dragons, where a bunch of friends get together, someone is like the story head, you roll the dice and you succeed or fail. So from that point, as a junior in high school, I wrote a whole story and presented it with Zach was a part of that original group as well.
To Zach.
yeah, presented it to all of them. And I remember us having a fun time, but I know for a fact it wasn't Dungeons and Dragons. So that was, and honestly, I just heard about it from like a few of like my nerdy friends in like passing who are like, yeah, tabletop RPGs and stuff like that. So we played for a bit. I left it on the table because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know if they're having fun, whatever. It wasn't until I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw Dropout. I don't know if you're familiar, but they have a whole TV show called Dimension 20. And I was like, oh, that's cool. A bunch of nerds playing D&D for, work. Great. But then I saw one of the game masters, Abria Iyengar. She was Black. And I was like, oh, what? And then the camera panned, and there was this nerdy white dude that was really getting into it. And I was like, oh my God, okay. And then a Black guy who was also plus size, and then a non-binary person who is Asian, and then a Black woman who is also plus size. And I was like, I have never seen a diverse like group of people at a table before. I was always, anytime I looked into it, like, I've always heard about bad tables and DMs being racist and like not wanting to be a part of like anything Black or anything different than what's in the rule book. And I watched them play a parody of like Harry Potter in their own way. And I'm not kidding. The second I watched that video, I grabbed my wife and her friends and I said, we're playing a game called D&D. And in this case, Kids on Brooms. And you guys are going to sit down and you're going to like it. And they did. That pretty much was what it turned into. And they fell in love with it. And then since then, I have been writing my own homebrew stories, and we've also been doing one shots where I challenge myself. I'll just be like, "Hey, we're playing a one shot today. I don't know what we're doing, but," and I just sit down, I think of a concept, and we just start improvising back and forth and rolling the dice when need be. But that's kind of how it started, where it's currently going, and ever since then, I have been cursed with the forever DM and never get to be a player. So they're constantly like, make us stories and we get to play them. So that's kind of currently where I'm at and where it started.
Oh, what? Okay, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Is there anything, as we are, I'm going to start closing out, but is there anything, any recommendations that you want to give anyone, like, especially in how to get started and maybe making their own like troop?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, there's a lot of places online that you can, search through Discords. There are some on like Tumblr. I think there are some D&D websites specifically for finding a group. But honestly, maybe I'm not the best one to give advice for this, but I have just grabbed all of my friends. My favorite thing to do is, have you heard of D&D? No? Do you want to play? And they're like, what do you mean? Oh yeah, let's sit down and play. All you need is your phone. And just coming up with stuff off the spot, tell them to roll. And you'll be surprised at how many people actually are like, oh shit, this is fun. This is a fun game. And if they don't, obviously, don't get upset. There are still those online options that you have. But if you already have a group of friends and you have a story that you want to tell, and you all have a story you want to collaborate on, and keeping in mind it is collaborative storytelling, you got to be open to what they got too, but just try it. That's the best thing you can do. Make mistakes, be open to making mistakes. You'll learn throughout the way. It's not perfect, and I mean, hey, it's not Dimension 20 where it's being recorded, but also listen to actual play podcasts. There's the obvious Critical Role, Dimension 20, but some smaller ones that are just podcast format, not visual. NADPod, not another D&D podcast. Rotating Heroes, Three Black Halflings. There is a bunch. Legend of, oh god, I think it's like Avantis or something like that. They just recently started blowing up. Check out those actual plays, watch it, and then you'll be able to pick it up from there. And then everything else will come later. Don't worry about it. Just tell stories. Tell stories. Tell black stories.
Key that. That is
Yes.
right there. So mic drop on that. Thank you, Onyx, so much again for being on this week's episode. This was a great conversation. We're gonna have to like do a D&D game one day because
hell yeah.
I got a character that I gotta like try out and see if I can.
Hell
like,
yes.
But yes, thank you so much. And thank you to our audience for listening this week. Again, keep coming back, keep tuning in. We'll have another person on the channel. And check out our archive, please. Our archive is alive and well. You can go to the What We Carry page and check out the archive. There are some free resources, not many just yet, but we are growing. Last week we had a donor, Alam Yasmin. Thank you to him, who donated to the archive Moonlight, the screenplay. So if you want to check it out, it is there to be seen and to listen and or watch or read. So there you go. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. This was an amazing talk.
Yes, likewise.
All right.